of the challenge, the daily challenge of going on YouTube Live that I've been doing for so far. I think it's day 6. That's what it feels like. Welcome, nonetheless. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm glad that you guys are joining me today because I'm going to be joined myself by my amazing co-host naturally on my IG Live weekly series. She's going to be joining me on this YouTube Live. We'll be doing that on Mondays after our actual IG Live series, the Social Roundtable. We do that on Mondays. 12 p.m. on Instagram Live. So consider this like the after party of that IG Live series where we take some of the questions that we got and we couldn't answer during the IG Live. We take them, we answer it now, as well as open it up to the floor for you guys to send in your own questions that you would like answered, all about Instagram, YouTube, social media strategies, tips, features, everything that you would want to talk about. We're going to be able to discuss here. As long as we have questions, we'll give you guys the answers. So I'm glad that you guys are here joining me. If you are unaware of who I am Heston from Social Varsity. Naturally, I say on my IG Live series, I say I'm the king, the self-proclaimed king of IG Lives. But with this daily challenge on YouTube Live, I may have to change my tune a little bit. I might be having to change that to King of Lives just in general. And who knows where I might go from there. But I'm glad that you're joining me today. We're going to be talking about Instagram tips, Instagram strategies, a few more. We got a couple questions lined up that were taken from today's IG Live, where we spoke about 8 common Instagram mistakes that you want to avoid in 2024. I spoke about that with Car and Sam, so look out for that video. Although it was on IG Live, I repost my IG Lives edited onto YouTube on my main channel. So thank you so much for checking that out. One thing I always do, or I should say, I always forget to do when I'm on this actual daily daily YouTube Live, is remind you guys to actually subscribe. If you guys are tuning in, please go ahead and subscribe if you are not a subscriber of the channel just yet. I post weekly videos all about social media and Instagram. And if that is something of interest to you, please go ahead and make sure you join the community. Hit the subscribe button. I have no idea where it is on the screen, if it's at the top, if it's on the bottom. I have no idea. But I am glad that you will become a member of the community just for jumping in this on this live. I don't know how you found it, but I'm glad that you are here. We're going to hold off a moment. I'm waiting for Megan to join me. We're going to have a couple questions. What I'm going to do, I got a question for you guys. Let me get this question ready and set for you. I like to have a little bit of fun with my audience, whether it's a Q&A. Not only do you guys ask questions, I like to ask questions as well. So I have a question lined up for you guys, and it's this. Have you ever been blocked on Instagram? Let me make sure I get that out right now, because I asked this because it was a question that I questioned to my audience earlier today on IG Live. Because a lot of the mistakes that we covered, some of them were things that could actually get you action blocked. Like perhaps maybe you comment too much on certain people's posts. And we always heard some guides tell you that you should be engaging all the time on Instagram, and that includes, going around and leaving comments on people's posts, whether it's a reel or a carousel or even a single image. But if you do too much of that, you do have an opportunity to get action blocked on Instagram. They might think that you're a bot and you might be posting too much comments. So I want to know from you guys, have you ever been action blocked on Instagram? The poll should be up now. It should be on your screen. Give it a moment to get there. And if you can, please take a moment to actually respond to the poll. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Have you ever been action blocked on Instagram? I would love to know. As we wait for Megan, I'll share with you my little story. I have definitely been action blocked more than once, unfortunately. And it just so happens that the first time that I've ever been action blocked, it led to me creating my most viewed reel. To this day, over 300,000 views on one specific reel. And it was because I was action blocked. I couldn't do anything on Instagram. So what I decided to do was create as much content as I can while not being able to engage on Instagram. And one of those pieces of content was about all of the things that I found myself doing while being action blocked. That that reel, which took me probably a minute to create, it was completely unplanned. That reel ended up getting over 300K views, spawned a bunch of following and so much more. So it just goes to tell you where you might find inspiration, even in some down scenarios and situations that you don't plan to be in. You may find some form of inspiration or motivation to try something new, and you never know what might come out of it. But I want to know from you guys. I told you I've been action blocked before, and that was only the first time. There's been a few other times after that. How about you? Have you ever been action blocked on Instagram? And for those of you that don't know what action block is, pretty much is when you do a certain amount of actions very quickly, and Instagram figures, hey, you are showing bot activity. It might think that you're a bot, or maybe you're just doing bad practices on Instagram that goes against the guides and policy and terms and conditions. So what Instagram would do is limit your engagement, limit your actions that you can take. So maybe you might not be able to comment on certain people's posts. Maybe you might not be able to actually post on Instagram. There are certain things that you may not be able to do if you get action blocked. I hope my guest Megan has never been action blocked before. She'll let us know in a moment. What's going on, Megan?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I hear you loud and clear. And once again, on YouTube, the video just looks so much better. I don't know what it's
It's
super crisp.
perfect. Hey, I don't know, but I guess I'm not complaining.
I was actually just stating about the whole concept of action block. There was a question that we posed during our IG Live earlier today. I posted it again today. It's in the polls. Go ahead, guys. For those that are watching, go ahead. Put it in the polls. If you're watching the replay, please put it in the comments. I'm going to know if you've been action blocked or not. And I'm going to pose a question to you, Megan. So I'm going to put you on the stand before I get to you to do your introduction. Have you ever been action blocked?
I have not. Nope, never.
Really? Wow. Let's keep that record going.
I know, right? I don't know how, but I guess I must just be under the amount of action every day.
Oh, well, that's good, and I hope that it remains that way. While you're here, if you could please take a moment to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, my name is Meg from Social Media with Meg, and I help small businesses and content creators and entrepreneurs grow their platforms, their social media to be able to monetize and create content that they enjoy creating, have fun, and increase their network and their net worth.
Absolutely love that. Please, if you guys are not following Megan just yet, go ahead and check out her page, not just on Instagram, but on YouTube as well. I'll leave the link. I have the link actually in the description already. I'm getting used to this now. I'm planning it. I got things going. I'm loving the
Okay.
YouTube Live.
Awesome.
So today we are going to be pretty much just sharing a few answers to some of these questions that we have gotten. We got a couple from our IG Live today. So I have those ready, as well as a few that were in the backlog. So we're going to go over those. I'm going to try to see if I can put it on the screen as well. But for those that are watching live, if you have any questions, please go ahead, share it as a comment. We'll try to take a moment to actually respond to your questions and provide the best of an answer that we can provide to you with our own knowledge and experience in regards to what you are asking about. We're going to try to give you as best of an answer as we can. Let me see. I'm trying to get this question up here. Let's see. I don't even know if I can pin it. All right. So this is the first question. We got this one earlier today. This one came in from Cowles Creative. Do you see it on your screen?
I do not.
Okay. It's in the comments. I will read it out loud. So from Cowles Creative, they want to know Instagram engagement and even real view count for my clients with a decent following has dropped so much in the last month. What is going on with the algorithm and how do I hack it to get it back? Interesting phrase there, to hack the algorithm. It's something I'm hearing a lot about recently. And I have to be honest. First off, we don't know. We don't have an idea of what account or accounts you are referring to. So we would have to have a better idea of exactly what's going on. See the account to give an actual true answer. Quick thing. Are you hearing like a little something on the phone? I don't know if it's my
Mm,
headphones. No.
No, no.
Okay. Just making sure. Maybe it's just me. So to answer your question, I'll try to give as much of a general answer as I can in regards to this because we don't have the actual specifics and data of the accounts that you're covering. But as far as I know, you cannot hack the algorithm as much as people claim you can. I've heard people say they can train the algorithm, you can hack the algorithm. As as somebody who's been a programmer in web development, you could only like do what the algorithm influences based on. Like you do what the algorithm expects, and you can lead it in a certain direction. You can't hack the algorithm. It's a set of instructions and rules, and depending on how you abide by them is the results that you get. So, for instance, if you are into interior design and you like a lot of interior design posts, you're going to end up getting a lot more interior design content. That's I guess that's the way if you want to say you train the algorithm, fine, but the algorithm is just doing its job. Um, I don't know about you, Megan. I've definitely felt the same problems that this writer has sent in from this question in regards to the algorithm. My algorithm reach, the engagement has definitely significantly dropped. I would say more than a month. It's been months.
Yeah.
Could you relate to that? Yeah, it seemed like you could relate to that as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I mean, the thing is, yeah, there is no hack, there is no specific thing. It is the fact I personally believe the big thing why some people are still doing really, really, really good right now versus others is because of the way that Instagram rolls out certain new features and certain new like updates. You know, some people get access to it right away, some people don't. So I think that there's no like blanket tip that everybody could abide by. It really is just understanding that this comes in waves, right? This this comes in waves, and am I frozen? Are you frozen?
Are you still
Oh,
on?
hi, I'm here.
All right. I don't know what just happened. That's the first time I got a glitch on YouTube and it looked like it fixed itself. I didn't have to do
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, well, I know it was just all of a sudden you were frozen, but I don't know if I continue to stream or not.
I think you did. I was looking at my stream and it looked like you were still going. I think we're
Okay.
still good. Sorry
All
about
right,
that.
cool. That's all good. I was just I'll wrap this up, but I was just saying that in order to like get through this, we just have to learn that there's always seasons in Instagram. And so you're going to have seasons that you're doing really good, and sometimes you don't know exactly why, and you're going to have seasons where you're struggling, and sometimes you don't know exactly why. And ultimately, you have to kind of zoom out at the big picture and see
Yeah.
over time. But I do agree with what you said about kind of training that algorithm, who you're engaging with, and the topics you're talking about, doing that on repeat. So Instagram really knows how to categorize you.
Yeah, I think experimenting might help a little bit. I've heard Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, he continues says this, and it's something to at least give it a try. You know, if you're always posting reels, maybe try a carousel once or twice a week to see how your audience might react to that. It might actually help improve engagement and thereby affect your reels reach as well, and maybe that might work. But
Hmm.
try something new, and the whole idea of training or hacking algorithm, I don't put much bias into that.
Yeah.
uh Thank you for that question though, nonetheless. We'll get to the next one. This one is from a returning viewer of our IG live. Is a good friend of ours, Greg Houghton, edu coach, edu coach. Let me see if I could get the question on the screen. He kind of directed it at me, but it's something that you're aware of as well, and I would love your take on it because when I brought this to you, you thought I was crazy of what I was going to do, and he's aware of it. So he asked, Heston, you recently eliminated all your content except 10 posts. Was that a big mistake now that you look back at it? Greg is like straight up calling me out, but I love that. I love it. Call me out on it. To kind of give a little bit of backstory in regards to this. What I did recently, I think I did it in November or December. At that point, I think I had about 300 to 600 posts, somewhere along the lines, on Instagram. And I've been considering this idea for a while. And I said, you know what? I'm going to archive. I didn't delete them. I'm going to make sure I say that. I did not delete all of the content. I archived that, meaning I could always put them back up if I need to. I could unarchive it. But
Right. Very smart.
thank you. I archived all of my content, leaving only 9 posts. So let's just say it was 600. I went down all the way to 9. And the 9 that I left back were generally carousels, whereas the majority of that was reels before. And I said, what I'm planning to do is only put carousel posts on my main tab on my Instagram profile and keep all of my reels separately on the Reels tab and just continue it like that. And I've been doing that for the past 6 months. Greg is asking me, was that a mistake? Now that I look at it, and I have to be honest. I don't think it was a mistake. The numbers are still coming in. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll try to even pull up my conversion rate. I'll try to pull up my conversion rate while you speak on this because I definitely want to hear your point of view on this. But so far, I haven't found a very negative effect based on this. Nobody has came and said, "Oh, I don't believe in you. You only have 10 posts." I haven't gotten that type of response yet. What I would say I've noticed is I've gotten more engagement on those 9 posts than I normally would have if I had continued to add content because those pieces of content would have been pushed down and they would have never really got more engagement. Because I have 9 posts, generally all 9 posts get engagement every week, which is an
Ah,
interesting aspect and something that I considered would actually happen. So I make sure that those posts are specifically, I strategize on what they are. They lead to freebies. They lead to me collecting email. They lead to me making sales. I
right.
specifically chose that type of post. So as I pull up my engagement rate or my conversion rate, I want to hear from you, Megan. When I said I was going to do this, what did you think? And looking at it now, would you say that it was a smart decision? And please be fully transparent. I could take it. Do you think it was a smart decision, or do you think that maybe I should go back and unarchive all of those posts?
I honestly think that it could be good or bad depending on like each individual's goal. The fact that we have the ability to pin posts and pin reels now, I see that it could, you know, still get those types of results of having your specific ones that you want engagement, want leads collected, want sales, etc. To make sure those are the ones you pin and not archive all of the others, still see those same results. However, if you are in a space of, maybe before you were all broad, I'm just speaking like in general, not just you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
as somebody who is all broad about all kinds of things, and then you're really niching in on something, or you're really focused on a specific offer or a specific funnel, it can be really beneficial to do that. I Their downside might be that when people do find you, maybe they don't binge because they don't have as much content, right? So they're
yeah.
not spending as much time on your profile. But if your current goal is just that one focus of really, collecting people into that funnel, I don't see why, like, it's not bad, right? If your goal is not to have people binge and stay on your page forever, to get somewhere else. So,
Exactly that. You're exactly right. Don't mind me looking this way. I'm trying to
yeah,
pull
you're
up
good.
the stats. I'm using Flick, which is a great friend of ours. We both use Flick quite often, and they have a great way that could kind of pull up my conversion rate. I'm trying to go far. It's not letting me go as far back as I want. So what I'll do is I was going to January 1st. Let me see if I could go back to just March then. Um, but I definitely agree with what you're saying in regards to if I wanted to put focus in regards to like certain posts, I'm capable of doing that. And I think that's what I wanted to do generally because yeah, I don't know if you've experienced this as well, Megan, but it seemed like there's just a rat race to keep continuing create content on
Yeah.
Instagram. And it's like, okay, how many posts can you put up in a week? Could you double that? Because we're all chasing this whole concept that we need to consistently grow, need to continue growing. And I don't believe that we should be doing that, because then we are only becoming our content and not those that speak about the value that we provide in our content. So I adopted this method to see if I could actually do that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers now. I pulled up May. May's conversion rate was 11%. If I'm not mistaken, it's 11%. It's not allowing me to pull up December's, but I can tell you right now, December's zone was higher. So if you want to look at the numbers, I think if I'm not mistaken, December's zone was probably 21, 22. I might be able to actually pull up something else. But so if you look at the numbers, that might, and this is the conversion rate in regards to people who visited my profile and then hit the subscribe button, just for full clarity in regards to that.
Okay.
So if you look at the numbers, it might say the experiment might be proven wrong, but It's a good enough question. I'm gonna look into this question to see if I can answer it a little bit better. Because I still think that it's something I'm going to continue moving forward for at least the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And if by the end of the year the numbers, let's say it's 11% now, and it goes down even further, which I have a feeling this number isn't right. I really believe something's wrong with this number, but um, we'll see. And if by the end of the year it goes down even more, best believe I'm going to unarchive all of those babies. It might take me a while, but I'm going to unarchive all 600 of those posts so that, as you said, at least when people come and watch, they might be able to binge. But I don't feel like a lot of people binge a lot nowadays because they hit to me, maybe I'm wrong, but most people's, it's hard enough to get them to hit the subscribe button. But when they hit the subscribe button, I feel like they just bounce for the most part. They might look at the first three, maybe six posts, but after that, they generally
You
leave.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when it comes to pages like Amazon influencers, like fashion people,
Mm,
makeup people, I'm saying this as like a woman consumer who on my personal page, I consume that style stuff. I do binge that style. I don't binge personal brands necessarily. I don't binge businesses really, but people who are just constantly sharing like stuff that is entertaining or more lifestyle around like links to fun things. I do binge that, or like travel pages, but I don't like binge business or tips like that.
okay,
Uh,
interesting.
I think also when you're looking at like our numbers, we have to take so many different factors into consideration, right? Like I know there's a few times where you've had big increases of exposure. So
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I forgot about that.
yeah, so like obviously the number is going to be lower, the percentage, but I think it's the quality of how many people are actually converting into leads, which sometimes isn't as easy to figure out. But
Yeah, yeah, that's a definitely a big point, and just kind of what Megan is stating in regards to that. I had two shout outs in May that helped me grow well over. I think together the two shout outs was just about 2,000 followers. So you know that was definitely not expected. I'm grateful for it, but as Megan has stated, you got to add in some of those factors in regards to looking at these numbers. So I'm going to definitely look into it a little bit further to see what I could pull out, maybe pull it out month by month. But I appreciate your answer, Greg. Greg, if you are watching, I hope that this answers your question. Hit me up in the DMs if you can. By the way, guys, I always forget to do this. Always forget to do this. If you are watching right now, whether it's live or replay, please, I don't know where it is, but hit the subscribe button if you can. We're trying, and if you can, please, in the description, you'll find Megan's YouTube channel. Go ahead and visit her channel as well and hit subscribe there. Help support our communities as we are hoping to grow together and on our separate respective channels so that we can help provide more formats and video like this. We're experimenting on YouTube, and this is all fun. I'm enjoying it. It's more laid back here on
yeah,
YouTube a little bit. I'm
I
enjoying that.
feels more free.
Yes, yes, and even despite that little glitch, we're still rolling. No big issues at all. Let's go to the next question. This one is from Swiss Drone Girl. I like that name. I gotta get every time I see the word drone, like I gotta get a drone. I just want one of those. My reels would be epic.
They would be, yeah.
Drone girl, Swiss drone girl says a friend of mine bought some followers, which are probably bots. Would Instagram block his account? Interesting question, especially nowadays where it's so easy to do this. I'm sure just in the span of us talking, we probably got a DM from somebody that says, "Hey, I could help you grow by X amount. Just pay me and you'll get X amount of followers." It's
Right.
so ridiculous. Um, how would you respond to this question from Swiss Drone Girl in regards to would Instagram block their account because they bought followers?
So they're not going to necessarily block their accounts. They're not going to, I mean, if it was a dramatic amount, then yes, they might flag and shut that account down. Yes. But if they haven't done that already, like, I wouldn't say that they're blocked, but they could be harmed a little bit in their reach. So if you go into your account status and your settings, you can see, if your account is currently getting shown to other people, if you've been following
Mhm.
the guidelines, you can see if you have access to new features. You'll have like little green check marks or you'll have the red X's. So to go into your settings and see your account status, I would do that to see if that is going to affect it. And if that was something that happened, years ago, I'm sure that by now things have evened out if that person has not done anything else to harm it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, you know, Instagram does not like when you purchase followers, but at the same time, I don't think they're gonna like, disable the account because you did. It really depends on certain actions that might cause harm to others. In a way, this is almost like self-inflicted harm, though it's not
Right.
really harm yourself. But as Megan stated, the reach is not gonna work. Like if you buy 10,000 followers, it's gonna look even worse based on the algorithm because if you went from 0 to 10,000, follows look good, but the algorithm doesn't care. Now it says you have 10,000 people that don't look at your content compared to when you had 0 followers that didn't look at your content. You actually look better when you had nobody as a follower than when you have 10,000 fake followers not
Yeah.
looking at your content. So you're doing that self harm to your account, and you might be safe not being disabled, but I think people are smarter now to identify these fake accounts with fake followers and stuff like that. They're smarter. It's
Yeah.
a whole new level
Yeah, for
to the game.
sure. Last thing I would say to that person is to, if they are worried that it is affecting them, just start a new account. If they're not already all in on this one, if they have the ability, start a new one just in case.
Yes, indeed. For those of you just now jumping in, I see a few new people had jumped into the live room. If you haven't taken the poll yet, go ahead. It's at the bottom of the screen. I asked basically, have you ever been action blocked on Instagram? One of us on the screen has, and one of us hasn't. You could guess who. Take a guess if you want. Put it in the comments if you want to know who got action blocked or not. Let's
Yes.
have a little bit of fun with it. We'll go to the next question. Right now, the poll is 50-50. One person is, I think it's 2 people, 4 people that voted. No, it's 2 people. And 2 people have, one has said yes, one has said no. I want to know from the rest of you guys that are watching live. If you're watching the replay, I got to remember there's also a replay. Put it in the comments. I want to know if you've ever been action blocked on Instagram. And if you don't know what action block is, just comment that and then we'll answer you as well. Let me get to the next question here. It should be now on the screen. This is from Wonder Woman of Aviation. And she asks, follower reach or watch rate? Which is more important?
Follower reach, I'm gonna guess she means like reach on posts.
Yeah, I think that's what she meant by that. The reach that you're getting on a post, if it's reaching your followers.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, I think it depends on what your current goal is. However, I think having people watch all the way through has a lot more impact long term. Like for looking 5 years down the road, you're building that trust they care to watch, right? So I think
Mhm.
that's important.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean with what you said in regards to watch rate. It's very hard to get somebody to watch any form of video 100%, um, but it's not impossible. And when you do that, it would actually help your reach,
Right.
because the way that the algorithm works, it figures if one person watched this thing all the way through, they most likely were satisfied and enjoyed it. Let's show it to more people. So, with that type of logic in mind, you would naturally increase your reach, and that's actually both on YouTube and Instagram. How the algorithm, they actually do have some similarities, and that's one of the few that they have.
Yeah.
So, watch time is very important. Reach is important as well, but I go back to that question of like, how much reach do you need? And it really depends on the goal of that piece of content. If that piece of content is to just help build engagement, then you want to focus on engagement, not necessarily reach. And if you get a lot of engagement, then once again, reach will naturally occur. If you're trying to make sales, Maybe it's a certain amount of sales you're trying to make. You don't necessarily need reach. You need to focus on the actual sale itself. So it really depends, as Megan stated, on the goal.
That's a really good point that like the reach is going to increase with the watch rate increasing. So
Yeah.
focus on that first and then that compound effect will happen.
Yeah.
Been talking
It
about
goes.
that a lot lately.
A lot of people miss that fact of the whole compound effect, and because I think a lot of people just want things done fast. They want it now. They want to see the results immediately.
Yep,
Sometimes you got to take your time with some of these things, and it'll work out in the long run.
exactly.
Last question. We'll make this one a quick one. Let me get this one on the screen. And for those that do not see the question, I will read it out for you. How do you get to the 10K stage? Um, I have under 10,000 followers on Instagram, so I wish I knew the answer myself. But I think it's fair to say that I don't think that there's just like one, I tell you, do X, and this is immediately going to get you to 10K, especially the way that Instagram is working right now. A lot of the strategies and tips that used to work, they don't necessarily work as they used to because the audience has changed, the behavior has changed. Even just to get somebody to hit the subscribe button, I'm sorry, the follow button,
Yeah.
um, is different now. You know what? Let me ask you a question, Megan, and you can answer this same question as well. How often do you hit the follow button on Instagram?
Mm, that is a good question. Honestly, if I've gone to their page, I'm likely to hit it. It's, I guess, getting me from the piece of content to their
Mm,
page that might be a little bit more difficult. So if I like
okay.
that piece of content a lot from the explore page or suggested, I'm probably going to their page. But if I was like, it's okay, I don't know, I'm not really interested in more, then I won't make it. Yeah.
So, are there times where you actually went to the page, looked at it, and said, "Nah, this ain't for me," and you actually left? You never hit the
Yeah.
follow button?
Oh, yeah, I have for sure. For sure. Yes.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like I'm stingy with my follow. Like I'm very stingy. I don't. I mean, they look. People looked at my IG right now. I don't follow that many people. I've been trying to do it now to actually connect with those that I follow, but I think it's really stingy for me to hit the follow button. Maybe in my personal account, I do it a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
follow a
true.
lot more people on my personal, but business wise, I'm very focused and strategic about who I follow and who I connect with.
Yeah.
So that's just the way that I look at it. But in
Yeah.
regards to this question, yeah, I don't think there's a magic button. There's no magic way to say, okay, do this and you're gonna get to 10K, the 10K following stage. I would just say at the end of the day, consistency is probably the biggest factor if you keep going because without consistency means you're not continuing and then you'll never hit the 10K stage. So
Yeah.
just keep going, try new things, right, Megan?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, and unfortunately, it does come down to a game of finding that finding that balance of quantity and quality.
Yeah.
When you want to go fast, you've got to really put that extra time in there to create more content, show up more frequently because every single time you do, it's that new opportunity of reaching new people. It's a fresh chance. You just got to be able to keep that quality up too. And that is
Yeah.
that balance, right? Figuring it out and really looking at your, kind of look at it as in sprints. If you're really going in
Mm.
for it, okay, I can't post this often for the rest of my life, but for the next 2 months, I can, right? Like I really can do it if I break it down.
I love that strategy to look at it as sprints because you know what the goal is, you know what the time length is. That's awesome way to look at it. Well done.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that was our last question for today. We're like going through all of these backlog questions, and the questions that
Yeah.
we're getting from our current IG live were just great. I'm loving here on YouTube. You guys are awesome. I know this is the live version, but we also do have a lot of lives that I'm posting straight when it's done onto my channel. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. We're at the end of our conversation, Megan. This was a good one. We had some good
Yes.
questions.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. I love answering the questions here on YouTube. So much fun. So we'll be doing it next Monday.
Yeah, yeah. I
All
think we're
right.
good for next Monday as well. For those that are watching live, and if you're catching a replay, in case you are unaware, myself and Megan host every Monday an IG Live. It's our weekly series, the Social Roundtable, where us two, and we bring on two different guests, and we have a great conversation all about different topics. Today's topic on Monday, June 10th, was about 8 common Instagram mistakes to stop making in 2024. And every week we have a different topic with different guests, and it's always a good time. We have fun, we have trivia, tons of information to share. You guys, if you miss it, you get the repost on YouTube, but trust me, you don't want to miss it. We have more fun on the live.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely a better time on the live.
Yes.
Thank you, Megan, for joining me. Where can I find you on both platforms?
Thank you. You guys can find me here on YouTube under Megan Harriman. Also considering to change that, by the way, but really not sure. Not sure. So
Really?
any
Okay.
input, any input would be great. But yeah, looking to connect here on YouTube, Megan Harriman, or if you want to find me on Instagram, social media with Meg.
Awesome. And if you guys are looking for that link, the link is in the description for both of her channels on YouTube and Instagram. And once again, please, I don't know where it is. Top right, top left, bottom, hit the subscribe button to
There
join
it
my
is.
channel. I'll figure it out one of these days. I'll figure
I
it
wish I
out.
could tell you watching, but I don't see it either. So
Thank you guys for joining us today. I will be back on tomorrow. The daily challenge continues Tuesday on June 11th, 3 p.m. once again. See you guys there. Have a great one, Megan. Thanks again for joining
awesome.
me.
Thank you.
Later,
Bye.
guys.